Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I have been gone for so long, like months, which is terrible. Like I never came on and posted like, hey, I'm gonna be taking a break, or I've been busy and that's why I'm not uploading. So I really hate that I kind of just like dipped off, and I really just am trying to get back into the videos. So yeah, this video is just going to be a life update, what I'm doing, what I've been doing, where have I been, and I am doing what. So yeah, if this is something you want to see, if you're interested in my life for whatever reason, just continue to watch. Okay, so first off, I want to go into why I haven't been uploading, what I've been doing, you know, from the beginning, what's going on. First I want to say, I never really, like, when I started making videos, obviously I was like, hey, my name's Lexi, like, here, I'm going to show you how to do this makeup, blah, 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 blah. But I never, like, I feel like, introduced myself and, like, any background at all. So, obviously, my name's Lexi. I'm originally from Louisiana. So, born and raised in a really small town, literally one red light, about a dozen churches, and we got a Subway a couple years ago, so moving on up. But, yeah, so I'm from a really small town. It's where I met my husband. We went to high school together. He was a couple years older than me. And fast forward a couple years after graduation, I guess what, 5 years, I guess, since we moved, because we moved almost a year ago now. We moved to Tennessee. Kyle, my husband, got a opportunity to open a business here, so that is what we did. We up and moved, and we are now in near about 30 minutes from Memphis, Tennessee. So that's what brought us here. I'm making this leak. Hold on, guys. That's what brought us here, and we have been here. Technically, I guess just he has been here since October. I came down a couple weeks after him because I was finishing out my school semester and work and all that good stuff. But when I finally came down here, I'm just starting from the very beginning. First, I'm going to say I am an education major, PK3, so elementary education or early childhood education. And I went to a university, Southeastern Louisiana University, back at home, and I was a junior, like a couple hours away from being a senior. I took off way too many semesters to work and like flunked like my second semester of my freshman year from partying too much, so I got really behind. And yeah, so the last couple semesters I've been just trying to get done, get it over with, and graduate, which I still have yet to do. So anyways, we moved here, and I've worked for Hooters since I was 18. I was still in high school, so I'm now about to be 24. So about 6 years. Yeah, so I worked for Hooters for that long. I started off as a server when I was 18. Moved up to, you know, bar backing, bartending, promotions, card holding, and then eventually 3 years after I started, I was a salary manager. So that is what I was doing whenever we realized that we were going to be moving. Also, on top of all of this, we had just bought our first house. We just purchased our first home together, and that was back where we were living, back where I was working. And then a couple months go by, and we find out that we are going to be moving 5 hours away. So yeah, that house is for rent right now, but we purchased that in like April, and then started like coming down here and looking at places around like, let's see, October. So we moved in October, so a couple months before October, so we weren't even in our house for like long at all. So we come here, and I figured, okay, like, I'm going to be transferring schools. I had already, like, the moving process was so spread out, and so, like, okay, we're moving on this date. Oh, no, it got pushed back to this date. Oh, the opening got pushed back to this date. It was, like, so ridiculous, and kind of just threw everything off, because I had taken off, like, that fall semester to move. And then we get news, like, oh, well, it's not going to be for a couple other months now. So I was like, okay, so I just took off a whole semester. Like, I could have been, you know, 15 hours closer to graduating, and I'm not, because I thought we were moving. So by that time, we're moving in the spring. Okay, so obviously I took off the spring semester, and we did end up moving like towards the end of the spring. And I did, at least, like after work and all that. So we moved, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna transfer to University of Memphis, which is like the big college here. So I come first, I'm like, I have to get a job. I have an interview with Hooters, and honestly, I just kind of wanted to go back to being a Hooters girl. Like, I liked managing in a sense. Like, it was nice knowing that, okay, I'm having this set check every 2 weeks. I know what I'm making. I don't have to worry about, oh, if we're dead tonight, then I'm only going to go home with 50, 60 bucks. Like, it was nice having that set pay. But on the other hand, whenever you're watching girls walk out on $300, $400 nights, and it's like, well, I wish I could be doing that. So it's like hit or miss, you know. And also it's nice, like, oh, if you have like something coming up that you need extra money for, or if you have like an unexpected bill or whatever it may be, you can be like, oh, I'll just pick up an extra shift and make an easy $100. So in that sense, it sucked, but again, pros and cons to both. I worked with amazing people at my original location in Louisiana. Some of them were, you know, in my wedding. So it's just like you build really great relationships and really great to get you through school. My general manager is like one of my really good friends now. He'll call me just to check up on me, and I love him. Nothing but good things to say about him and the other managers that I worked with. Like, it was just a really good work environment. So I come here, and like I said, I go to apply at the Hooters here. There's 3 locations here. It's a bigger city than, you know, where I'm from, but they had one that like wasn't even opened yet that I ended up actually applying at first. I worked 1 shift, and it was horrible, like absolutely horrible. Like, I'm not even gonna go into details about it, but it was terrible. So I was like, no, absolutely not. And then the downtown location I knew was not a good location, like, to begin with. Like, I knew, like, I'm staying away from that location. So then this other location, I'm not going to mention it, is where I ended up going, the 3rd location, and out of the 3, by far the best. Still doesn't make it good though. Like, it was not what I was used to. Also, I need to mention that I was at a franchise store, and then came over to the store here. It was a corporate store. So like, if you know the difference, or if you don't, it is night and day, like franchise compared to corporate. Like, it's just insanely different. And so that already was rough for me. Like I said, I wanted to go in. I'm all over the place, but I wanted to go in as a Hooters girl, because I was just like, you know, I don't really want the responsibility, blah, 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 blah. Well, then they kind of like convinced me. I ended up getting an interview with like one of the bigger guys up or whatever, and he's like, are you sure you don't want to manage? Like, could really use a manager, blah, blah, blah. Like, all these incentives, and like the pay that he was had offered to start me at was already way better than what I was making at my previous location. So, and then like, not to mention like obviously insurance. So all of that stuff, like, I was taking into consideration. I was like, okay, like, I'll do it, whatever. Come to find out, corporate stores have hourly managers. So at my store, we only had salary. So when I came here, it was really different. I started off as salary, but they had a guy who was hourly, and they had already promised him this position, and then I just kind of come in and took it, which is really crappy. I didn't know that was happening. Like, they made it seem like they were kind of like desperate for managers. So, like, I felt bad, like, they're cutting back this guy's hours, and now he's like not guaranteed this position because I came in here. Like, I just think that's crappy. Like, that right there just kind of gave me like a weird vibe about the place and about like the upper management as well, just because like this guy is told he's getting this position, and these girls are like, the other management is sorry, I was reading a text message. I just got a text that my little sister's about to have her baby. Like, oh, I'm so excited. But anyways, and long story short, this guy was promised. That gave me a weird vibe that, I don't want like someone to promise me something in the future and then someone else come along and they give it to them, whatever. I was just kind of iffy about that, but it didn't stop me like in any way from like going further with the position. So took that position. It was okay at first. Again, very different, but I expected that. Like, that's fine. That's not why I left. That's not why I chose not to be there. It was just not for me. I'm just going to leave it at that. Like, I'm not going to go into details about the things that would happen there or how. I'm just going to say it wasn't for me. Like, personally, It was just not my cup of tea. I just did not enjoy it, and it honestly got to the point where I felt like I was in danger at my workplace, which is not okay at all. Like, if you ever feel that way, it is just, you need to get out, period. So yeah, anyways, I rolled out of there, like, nope, sorry. And at this point, I'm jobless. Like, I had the intentions of finding something before I left, but it just got so bad to where I was just like, I have to leave. Like, I can't do this. So this whole time that all this is going on, I'm planning a wedding. This is before our wedding, and it's like crunch time. Like, we are like a month out, so I am trying to quit my job, trying to plan a wedding, trying to get back in school. It was a mess. Like, so much was going on. Plus, we just moved to this new place. Like, try planning a wedding whenever you're not even in the same state of where you're getting married, and like trying to work with vendors and like all that stuff. It's just really difficult. It's gonna go, like, wedding happens, I quit my job, all that. Well, then I'm trying to get enrolled at University of Memphis, and they are not wanting to give me in-state tuition because I am not considered legally a resident. Like, I haven't been here long enough, blah, 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 blah. Well, now I know. At the time I didn't know, but now I know this whole time I could have been considered a resident because we own a business in the state of Tennessee. I did not know this. So I was like, okay, I've already sat out 2 semesters. I cannot afford to sit out another semester. Like, I need to get back in school. Like, I don't want to be that person who says they're going to go back and finish and never does. Like I've always said, I don't care how long it takes me, I'm going to finish. Yeah, I was like, I think me and my husband talked about it, and I was like, what's best for me right now is to go back home. I have a secure job there. Hooters, like, I know they'd always take me back. And I need to do a summer semester back at Southeastern. So that's what I did. It sucked, but like, if I wasn't here during the weekends, then he was there. And honestly, we don't really see each other during the week because he's at work, and then I would be working nights. So by the time that he would get home, I would be going to work. So it wasn't that different. Like, yeah, it was weird not living together, but it wasn't that different. Like, we already didn't really see each other during the week, and weekends I worked. So really, we kind of ended up seeing each other more once I lived in Louisiana and he was living here. And that was just for a summer semester, so that was like a couple months. And it's funny, like, that was about, like, I had a 4.0 that semester this past summer, and it's like, I really think, like, not to blame him, but I think it's because I didn't have the distraction of him being here or being there. So yeah, that kind of worked out. Well, then after that, I'm like, okay, I'll be, a resident now. I can go to Memphis. I'm ready to move back, blah, blah, blah. So come back here, start looking for a job. That whole time I was working at Hooters. I was bartending, serving, and card holding. So that worked out for me. Got to save up a little bit of money and do all that. Well, then also in Louisiana, I actually have, like, makeup and stuff to do. Here, I don't know anyone to get my name out there. Like, it's really difficult. But at home, it's a different story. So I was also being able to do makeup jobs, weddings, proms, homecomings, all that good stuff on the weekends to make even more money. So financially and for school, it just made more sense for me to be there. Come back here, find a job, go through training, and I hated it. It was fine dining, which I was excited to try, but it was not for me. Like, it's just kind of like they wanted you to be a robot with everything, and I'm so used to being able to talk to my tables and conversate. Like, some of my regulars, like, I talk to, like, all the time, so it's just weird not being able to make relationships with people and to literally be like, they don't want you to make any type of any type of conversation at all. So like, you bring the food, you get out of the way. Like, whenever you take an order, you sit there and wait for them to finish their conversation. Like, I'm just not used to that. Like I said, I've been at a sports bar since I started serving, so it was something I wasn't used to, and it wasn't for me. So yeah, that didn't work out. Before that though, like in the middle of kind of all of that, I had started my semester at Memphis, and my financial aid was pending, so I kind of knew what I was getting, and I knew that I was going to have to come out of pocket some, but not as much as what they were actually wanting me to. So I wasn't getting as much money, and I guess maybe because we got married, I don't know, and it's a different state and everything, I don't know, it's a completely different school, so it just doesn't work the same as what I'm used to. And so yeah, I had like 2 online classes, and the rest were on campus. Well, they have a campus closer to where, I'm trying not to say like the town I live in, but they have like a campus that is still University of Memphis, but it's just closer to where I live. It's like a smaller campus. So I try to schedule some of my classes there. So I go for my first class ever. Like at this university, it's already all different online. Like go and like we're sitting there and the professor never shows up. Like nothing. Like we're like, what? So we kept going to the front desk and like asking them, and they're like, oh, like he's a new professor, like he's only been teaching with us for a year, so like we don't really know. And I'm like, okay, well at this point we had been sitting there for like 30-45 minutes, and I was like, I really don't want to wait anymore. Like what's going on? Like I don't want to sit here and wait, but I don't want to leave and miss something. So we ended up just leaving. Like everyone left, like whatever. And then I was like just annoyed by the whole situation. And then while I was there, I was talking to a girl, and she was like, I thought the text, so like at Southeastern you rent your textbooks. I know a lot of colleges don't do that, but I also know that you can buy used textbooks and you can get them from Amazon or eBay or online, Facebook, whatever it may be. Well, you can't do that at Memphis. It is like their textbooks are Memphis edition to get you to spend like pretty much just to get more money from you, which I think is so crappy. Like you're already getting so much in tuition, but whatever. She's like, yeah, did you get the books? Yeah, it was like a textbook and then a workbook, and one was like $160, the other one was like $180, and then they wanted us to do like buy this online program for like $100. So I'm like, I cannot afford this. Like already coming out of a pocket for tuition, plus the textbook, plus all of this other crap. Like I couldn't do it. So I ended up dropping, and I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll find, this has literally just happened like a couple months ago. I was like, I'll find maybe a online school, and then my last 2 semesters I'll just transfer, or my last semester I'll just transfer back over. That's another thing. Me transferring here, I was losing a good bit of classes. So I wouldn't even be in like graduating when I was supposed to be graduating, which really sucked. But I was like, it's worth it for me to be here with Kyle. Well, after paying that ridiculous amount and all of the extra stuff, it's just like, okay, it's not worth it. So trying to find like an online thing or something. Well, then this is where I'm getting to the part of I'm doing what. I thought about this a while back. So like out of high school, I joined the Army. Like I'm just gonna say it. Like I joined the military. I'm in the Army. I ship out next week for basic training, which is so weird to say out loud because I literally just told everyone. Like I had told obviously like my close family and like my immediate family, like not even like, because I have a really big family, we're all pretty close. Like I hadn't even told all of them. Like I had just told like my immediate family, and then I told my really good friends and my husband's family, and that's like it. Like I didn't tell, like I don't know why, it just felt like weird to talk about it or weird to say. And eventually it was just like, people were like, oh, well, does this person know? Like, can I say something to this person? Well, do they know? And I was like, no, like, but it's not like I was wanting to keep it a secret. It's like, I just didn't know how to tell people. And I wasn't just going to call people up and be like, hey, by the way, like, I don't know. Just like weird. So eventually, like, day before yesterday, I just posted it on Facebook. Like, I made just a little Facebook post, like, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going to be, blah, blah, blah. Wish me luck. That way everyone can know, it's out there. I don't have to worry about telling anyone. It just made it easier for me. So that's what I did, and went well, everyone. Congratulations, good luck, all that good stuff. So yeah, I thought about that for a while. I thought about it out of high school, went and took the ASVAB, and then kind of just wanted to do college. Like everyone was doing college, I wanted to, do what all my friends were doing and just kind of get the college experience. So I did that. Well, then I've thought about it like multiple times throughout the years, and then I just guess like I kind of forget about it. I don't know. But it's always been like I've thought about it multiple times. It's been in the back of my head. So then one day, me and Kyle are watching TV and a commercial comes on. He's like, did you ever think about that? Like, blah, blah, blah. Because at this point, I'm thinking like I need to pay for school. We don't have insurance at this point because he's like self-employed considered because he owns a business. So they don't offer him insurance, and I quit my job that we had good insurance. And I quit my job that we had good insurance at. So I looked into it. I watched hours of YouTube. I don't know if you have a YouTube, you'll get those emails like, congratulations, you watched so many hours. I was getting that all the time because I was literally just watching video after video, researching. Like before I even went to a recruiter, I had a list of questions. Like I knew what I wanted to go in and ask. Like I was prepared. Like, this isn't something that I just jumped into, even though it seems like it because I waited so long to announce it. I like knew that this is something that I was doing, and I was excited about it. So I went to a recruiter, and I actually wanted to do Air Force first. I heard that Air Force is just easier. I heard they get treated better. I heard that their barracks and where they live are better. So I was like, okay, like, yeah, like I'm gonna do Air Force. So I go and talk to a recruiter, and he was just rude. Like, he wasn't helpful at all to me. He kind of just made it seem like, whatever. Like, and to me, I think it's because a lot of people want to join the Air Force because they don't necessarily need people. So I don't know. He just wasn't helpful, and I've seen this in a lot of videos where they say that they go to the Air Force and they're just not helpful. And he was just like, there's like this thing, like one of my tattoos was gonna disqualify me, which is crazy to me because you can literally have tattoos like up and down your arms and be fine. But yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to go home. Like, I got dressed, I got all these questions, and like I already had to drive like 30-40 minutes out of the way just to go talk to this guy. So I was disappointed, but I was like, whatever, like I'm not gonna waste the whole day. So I went and talked to an Army recruiter, and he was really nice, which I knew that it was either Air Force or Army. So yeah, next I went to the Army, and he was really nice, like answered all of my questions, gave me all these pamphlets, sent me home with like some coffee, like thermals, and like a t-shirt and like all this stuff, which, I mean, it's not the reason. I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna sign my life away. You gave me some coffee mugs. No. But I just really got like a good vibe and like everything he was telling me and all this good stuff. So between like a couple of weeks span, I had went and talked to him multiple times. So then we set up to go take the ASVAB. I did that. I scored pretty decent, and I was able to pretty much pick whatever. But they only had 2 jobs that were going to give me max benefits, which is the reason that I joined. I knew the benefits were good. They were, going to do my student loan repayments, pay for me to finish. They were giving me a really good sign-on bonus, a really good kicker, and all this stuff. So I ended up picking a job just based on benefits, which I'm fine with. Like I said, that's why I joined. So yeah, I did that, and then I went to MEPS. A couple of days, I guess it'd been like a week later, because I went home, like back to Louisiana that weekend. I've been going to Louisiana like every weekend just because I know I'm about to leave, so I want to visit with family and friends. So yeah, we went home that weekend, and then I want to say like I came home, chilled Monday, and then went Tuesday. We stayed in the hotel, or I stayed in the hotel, and then Wednesday I actually went through the MEPS experience and then signed. I already had like my spot, I already had my spot reserved, and now I am shipping out next week, which is really exciting. But I kind of got away from saying like why I stopped filming, and that was just me being back and forth from here in Louisiana so much. Like, I was so busy. I didn't really have a place to film, like where I was staying, like I couldn't really film, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I feel like my last couple of videos were all the same, like, oh, simple get ready looks. And it's like, because I didn't have time to do like an in-depth film, like, which I hate. Like, I just kind of like cut corners and did that. So, which I leave in less than a week now, which is insane. Like, I'm still like, don't think that, everyone's like, are you nervous? And I'm like, I don't feel like it's real. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But I want to introduce, that side of everything, and like, I'm not just gonna be doing makeup videos now. Just kind of like maybe chit chats like this. I filmed this video before, like last week, and I was trying to do, because I wanted to still incorporate makeup with it, so I was trying to do a get ready with me / chit chat like update, but it did not work out. Like, by the time I was done talking, because I had to stop so much from doing my makeup, by the time I was done talking, my makeup wasn't done. So it's like, I can't do this. Like, it's too back and forth. So it's like, I'm just going to go on and talk and just kind of explain everything, even though it is like kind of all over the place. I know I like keep jumping back and forth. It's like the best way for me to just get everything out. So yeah, I am so sorry for not filming. I hate that I'm about to leave and not be able to film again. When I get back, I will be filming again ASAP. But thanks so much for watching. It will notify you whenever I do upload. And then also, if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.